Bad news. Joy Reid is back.
Grampy Trump, let's talk. Let's talk.
Also, good news. Joy Reid is back, and she's saying things that are dumber than ever.
You can't make Canada the 51st state without going to war with them. And let me explain how that happened, how that worked out the last time we tried to go to war with Canada. They burned the White House to the ground in 1814 and won the war. Canada beat us in the War of 1812.
Is it just me, or does Joy Reid's revisionist history remind anyone else of John Belushi from Animal House?
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
They burned the White House to the ground in 1814 and won the war.
They even kind of look and sound a little alike, don't they? Anyway, I digress. The War of 1812 happened in 1812. The White House was burned down in 1814, and Canada wasn't even a country until 1867. How could a country that didn't exist burn down the White House about 45 years before it actually became a country? The answer is it can't.
We're not going to beat them in a war because we have never been able to do that. You'd have to occupy a country that is equivalent of the size of the United States, in which the top 2/3 of it is uninhabited, frozen forest land that touches the Arctic.
I'm not sure if she understands how war works, but you don't actually have to occupy the uninhabited places. You don't fight a war where there's nobody to fight. If nobody's living in the top 2/3 of Canada, then nobody's going to go there to fight in the top 2/3 of Canada. Joy Reid wasn't done. There was one more really ridiculous point she wanted to make in her argument that Canada would destroy the United States of America if it ever came to a war.
We don't have enough troops to occupy. They are a country of 39 million people who have about as many guns per capita as we do.
Now, yes, they have about 40 million people in Canada. Do you know how many we have here in the United States of America? 339 million. That's about 300 million more than they have. And yes, they have a lot of guns per person, a total of 12 million. Do you know how many we have in the United States? 393 million privately owned firearms in the US of A, which is more than one gun for every citizen in this country. If Joy Reid ever decides to publish a history book, do not buy it for your kids. Otherwise, they're going to grow up thinking the Civil War was fought between the East and the West, and that Washington crossed the Chattahoochee River to get to Wisconsin so he could defeat the Spanish in the Battle of the Bulge.